Hey guys, Nishquik here. So, I'm starting to make a few more Xenoblade Chronicles videos because I miss making Xenoblade videos, and this one is going to be a little more of a personal video. I want to start going into maybe some more personal videos on how video games have impacted me personally, and certain times in my life where video games have really just kind of hit the spot. You know, I know some of you guys really feel the same way. Video games are more than just you staring at a computer screen or a TV screen. It's you sometimes experiencing things that you've wanted to experience, or sometimes reliving some parts of your life. So I'm going to talk about the latter today. And this video is very interesting. I'm going to be talking about a certain video game protagonist that is very hotly contested. A lot of people have a lot to say about this guy, and I sure do as well. He is everyone's favorite salvager, everyone's favorite master driver, everyone's favorite Chadosaurus, Rex from Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I relate a lot to Rex. Well, I relate a lot to Rex from my past self meaning I'm in my mid-20s now, but seeing Rex in Xenoblade Chronicles 2 was a trip down memory lane. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about Rex in the very beginning of Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Me, like a lot of people, were super annoyed by this kid. Why is he so stupid? Why is he so naive? He's so silly, short-tempered, he does things without thinking. Just like, look at this guy, look how silly he is. And the thing is, Rex is a very positive guy, very bright-eyed, positive, naive, but that's the thing, he's very naive, and you really see that in the beginning of the game. He takes a job from Banna just for 100,000 gold. He doesn't even know these people. He's trusting in a guy named Malos. You see a guy named Malos? Why would you trust a guy named Malos? Yeah, Rex had a lot of these very silly situations that got him into some very, very unfortunate circumstances. But then again, I just realized he's a naive 15-year-old kid. What do you expect? Whenever someone is a kid in a game, you got Rex, you got Tulin, you got some other random kid in a video game. Everyone just goes and makes fun of them. Poor kids. They gotta learn from their mistakes, and that's what I love about Rex. Rex really learns from his mistakes, and he grows and he matures and he develops as a character, and he matures as a man and a person. And the thing I love about Rex is throughout all the hardships he goes through, he still has a very optimistic outlook on life. It's really nice to see that. A lot of people around him are very downtrodden, very upset about things going on around them currently, or just very sad and dealing with trauma about things that have happened in the past. And Rex is always there to show his support, always have a smile on his face, and just say that he'll always be there for his friends, he'll always be there for the people he cares about. But of course, he makes mistakes. We saw it many times in the game. Of course, we see it in the beginning. He takes that very shady deal with Banna, and he gets himself, well, yeah, you know exactly what happens. You know how Rex becomes the driver of the Aegis. You have Vandam's death, which is very sad because Nia blames herself for Vandam's death. She could have saved Vandam, but if Rex also did listen to Vandam, things would have maybe gone a little differently. Mithra berates him for that, and yeah, that's one thing. Accepting Mithra as a new side of Pyra, that also was a little bit of, I wouldn't say mistakes that Rex was making, but he had to warm up to this new kind of persona. And of course, Pyra's sorrow, Pyra's sacrifice, all of that. There have been many times when Rex was not as supportive and understanding of what Pyro is going through. And I really like that scene in Chapter 7 when he loses Pyra and Rex was just ready to quit then. and everyone was like, you can't quit now. You need to understand what Pyro is feeling. You need to understand what she's going through, and you need to be that person for her. You need to be the person that she can rely on, and who you can rely on too. Rex and Numa, that whole relationship, it's not one-sided. It's not, oh, I need Rex because he's my driver. It goes both ways. Rex needs Numa, Numa needs Rex, and they do the unthinkable because they are so strong with each other, and the bond and affinities gained with that Blade and Driver relationship is unlike any other. And yeah, of course, around that time in Chapter 7, once he awakens the true power of the Aegis, once he understands and accepts and appreciates his friends for who they really are, once he opens up more to people like Zeke and Nia, he learns to love, he learns to accept, and he learns to understand and confide in those he loves and those who love him as well. So I've talked enough about Rex. I mean, I'll get back into him a little later, but let's delve into a little bit of Nishquik lore. Rex is 15 years old. Going all the way back to when I was 15 years old is, whew, that's quite a ways back. And what's funny is I feel like some people who knew me at that age may or may not still watch this channel. So if you guys remember me back then, maybe put a comment down below on what you thought I was like, or, because I don't know, me remembering myself is not the same as someone else remembering me from back then, and it might give me another nostalgia trip back through memory lane. Who knows? But I identify or maybe kind of relate to Rex because of his optimism and his positivity. 15-year-old Nishquik was very positive, very wide-eyed, very naive. Oh boy, was I naive. I mean, all of us were, but me a little more to an extent. I didn't realize how certain things could have certain consequences, and it's not like I made some like really bad mistakes or did some bad things or anything, but I just was in that situation that Rex was in. Hey, how about I do this and see what happens, just see what happens. And then something happens and I'm not very proud of myself. And you learn from your mistakes, of course, but the biggest thing is Rex's optimism. You see, Rex's whole goal in Xenoblade is to reach Elysium. He will always keep that goal in his mind. And I mean, looking back at myself, back when I was around that age, I had goals, I had dreams. Some of them were unattainable, some of them were far-fetched and far-flung. Some of them I've achieved, some of them I've not, but I look back at myself and say that positive optimism is what kind of kept me going in the hardest of times, and that is what I see a lot with Rex. He's very, very driven, and I think the best depiction of his optimism and his drive to be there for the people around him was his line about, I always want to put smiles on people's faces. And it's interesting looking back at yourself and seeing the people in your life back then, and then you say, some people are still around, some people I still consider friends, but some people have moved on, some people have maybe gone a different path than I have, but what remains the same, what remains still true to myself is all of the lessons that I've learned from those people and all the experiences that have shaped me into the person that I am today. But if it wasn't for that optimism and that childhood sense of positivity, I guess, I can't really think of a better word for it, but if it wasn't for that, I don't think I would have really learned all those lessons and become the person that I am today. And back when I was younger, I often remember it was always difficult for me to accept that I needed to reach out for help or guidance or just show any sense of vulnerability in any way, whether it is with friends, family, or anyone who is close to me. And Rex does show that to an extent, but what I have seen with Rex is he really truly opens up to the people around him, and once he does, that bond, that affinity, it's just so strong, and it's so much more real, it's so much more honest, and you see that even with the minor characters or supporting characters. You see it with the Blades, you see it with the party members, and like Nia, Morag, Zeke, Azurta, all of that. And just like how Rex has his mentor who's Zeke, I have a few people who I consider Zekes in my own life. And the relationship isn't as direct and doesn't parallel the relationship with Rex and Zeke as much, but there's always someone older, someone wiser I can always look up to. Sometimes someone who's even taller than me. Before Xenoblade Chronicles 3 released, I was telling a friend, I was like, hey, you know what'd be cool? Is if Rex is in this game, and he's like this big, Chad, muscular dad, like a thick beard, and he's telling all these jokes and all that. I just thought that would be a very funny thing and kind of situation to put Rex in. I will say, I was pretty close, because when I went into Memorial Hall and I saw that statue, I stared at it for a very long time, and I was like, this is Rex. This is Rex. I read the statue description, that is 100% Rex, but I just stood and stared at that statue, and I was like, this is what I wanted him to be, and I'm very happy that he made it. He made it. He saw his goals, he saw his life ahead of him, and he made it. And he did good. And we saw that, we all reacted, we all saw that picture at the end, we reacted how we did, and yeah, I guess he made it in that sense as well. But I think back to myself now, again, like, am I going to be a giant muscular Chadosaurus Rex with 3 wives? No, most probably not. But my whole thing with seeing Rex in Xenoblade 3 and Future Redeemed, it's very nice to see him like this, because he had goals in his mind. He had goals to build a family and have people around him just smile and be happy. And he made it. He really, truly made it. I sometimes look into my dreams, my goals for the future, and I'm like, of course, I'll make it eventually. I am, but I always feel confident whenever I think of Rex. He's someone that always fills me with positivity and fills me with motivation to do better in every single thing that I have done in my life, and every single thing that I'm still doing in my life, whether it is when it comes to friends, relationships, family, work, school, games, content creation, anything, being healthy, working out, all that. I just see Rex as a guy who, he did good, he made it. From a 15-year-old, naive, wide-eyed, silly little kid, look at what he's become. He's responsible, and he just, again, I've said this so many times in this video, but he made it, and it makes me think, what kind of future will I create for myself? I don't know. I guess we'll see. And I always wondered, why do people pick on him? Why do people make fun of him? Why do people bully him? I don't know. I really don't know, because this guy is so genuine, so cool, so, like, he matures, he grows. He's not the same person as he is in the beginning of Xenoblade Chronicles 2. And even in the beginning of Xenoblade Chronicles 2, this guy's a 15-year-old kid. Like, what do you expect? Do you expect him to have all the answers in the world? Do you expect him to have all the knowledge in the world? No, he's just a guy, and he's learning. And guess what? He learned, he matured, he grew, he developed, and he doesn't wear the same silly salvager outfit anymore. I really see a lot of similarities with Rex's personality, his tenacity, his weaknesses, his vulnerability, and his approach to just solving problems. It somewhat mirrors how I used to go about doing things, and even how I go about doing things now. And by seeing all of this and witnessing all of this and just experiencing Rex's journey through Xenoblade 2, Xenoblade 3, and Future Redeemed, I sit down and think, and I'm like, hey, a nerdy guy, a nerdy, silly guy like me has made so much progress in my life, And who knows what's going to happen in the future? Who knows what the next 10, 20 years holds for someone like me? And I think, like I said before, I really hope to keep that optimism going. And I really hope to keep that sense of groundedness with those around me and those who care about me. So yeah, I didn't want this to get that sentimental, but I guess it did. Yeah. Because honestly, the more you age, the more you mature, the more you grow up, you guys know this, that childlike positivity, that wide-eyed optimism, it's hard to still keep it as intact as it used to be. I mean, it's still there, but you know what I mean by that. But just having played Xenoblade 2, it kind of reinvigorated that spark in me, and I really appreciate Rex's character for that. But yeah, anyways, that's just how I feel about Rex in Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and 3, how he kind of relates to me as just me, Nishquik. I don't know. I've never done a video like this. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys learned a bit about myself. That's a little bit about me and Rex and why I love him so much. If you guys enjoy videos like this, Xenoblade Chronicles, Nintendo, JRPGs, all that kind of stuff, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Really helps out the channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Nishquik signing off. Have a great day. Go play some great games today, like Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and 3, which has Rex in it. I'll see you guys in the next one later. Hey guys, this is Nishquik. Thank you so much for watching that video. And if you enjoyed it, check out these two videos on the left, and if you aren't subscribed, why not hit that subscribe button on the way out? I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great day and see you later.